Welcome everybody to another episode. Today I want to talk about not being bounded by your debt. Debt is something that most people have, but you shouldn't spend your whole life paying it off. I want to start this episode with a scripture that ties into what I will be talking about. It's from Proverbs 22:7. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. A couple of things that I want to go over with you is first, what is debt? I want to also give you some examples of good debt and bad debt. Explain why you shouldn't overextend yourself with debt and why you should make wise decisions when it comes to accumulating debt. So stick around as I go in depth over this topic right after this. Before I get started, my name is Austin, and what I like to do here is give motivation and advice on how to become financially independent. Did you know that until your debt is repaid, you are a servant to the individual or lender that you owe? I bet you didn't look at it that way. First, let's start with what is debt. Debt is something, typically money that is owed or due. For instance, if you get a car loan for $25,000, then you are $25,000 in debt. You will make payments on it until the full amount is repaid. On top of the amount that you borrowed, you will also pay whatever the added interest is. Debt can either be good or bad, so let's get into the differences and why. I will start with good debt. Good debt is debt that's used to pay for something that has long-term value and increases your net worth. An example of good debt can be taking out a mortgage. Purchasing a home or purchasing investment property is probably no better debt to have because you have to live somewhere and you might as well live somewhere that gains value every year. Once you pay your mortgage off, your home should be worth more than its original purchase price. For me, I bought my house back in 2015, and in 5 years, my equity went up about $60,000 from what the original purchase price was. That's why owning a home or having a mortgage is considered good debt. Another example of good debt is getting a business loan to start a business. When you start or have a business, you need cash flow. Taking out a business loan can help you with keeping the business going and can help you grow your business to make you more money. That's the reason why it's considered good debt, because you are investing into something that can help you make money. So those are a couple examples of good debt. Now let's get into what is bad debt. Bad debt is expensive debt that drags down your financial situation and anything that decreases in value the minute after you buy it. Since I just gave you the definition, I bet you can think of a few things as we speak that is considered bad debt. But if you can't, here are a few. The first one is credit cards. This little piece of plastic can get you into so much trouble. Credit cards is one of the biggest debts that most households have. Most credit card interest rates start anywhere from 10% and go up as high as 30%. Also, credit cards have variable rates, which means the rates can go up or down depending upon the market. So you might start out at 20% APR, but next year it might go up to 25% or higher. Since debt weighs about 30% of your overall credit score, that means that you need to keep your balances low compared to what your credit card limit is. A rule to keep in mind is to not spend or have a balance over 30% of what your credit card limit is. So, for example, if you have a credit card limit of $1,000, and then that means that you shouldn't spend over $300. Most people don't follow that rule and generally are maxed out to their credit limit. In future videos, I will go more in depth on credit cards and how utilization affects your overall credit score and how to find low interest rate credit cards. But for the sake of this video, this is why credit cards are considered bad debt. And for the last example of bad debt, buying a car is. Now, before you say, what do you mean and that can't be true? Yes, you do need a car to get to work and get around, but understand that as soon as you drive out the lot, your car is losing value. And don't let something happen to your car where it gets totaled and you are dependent upon an insurance company to give you the value for it. It won't happen. You'll be getting the bare minimum. It happened to me, so I know about this firsthand. All I got was $4,000 on a car I originally paid $20,000 for. See how that value dropped tremendously? With that being said, if you decide to get a car loan, be wise in what you buy. You don't have to get an expensive Mercedes when a cheaper Honda would do. That's an example of being financially fit, by not splurging on something when you don't have to. Now, if you get a truck or a cargo van, or even a car that you are making money off of, then yes, that debt was worth it because it's paying for itself. Now that we have gone over debt and you've gotten some examples of good debt and bad debt, let's get into why you shouldn't overextend yourself and make more debt. Everybody isn't fortunate to pay for items in cash or might not be disciplined enough to save for whatever it is they want to purchase. Does that mean you should never borrow? No, it doesn't. But those of you who do take out loans, you need to carefully examine your ability to repay it. A loan you can handle is enabling, and a loan you can't handle is enslaving. Because like I said earlier, before you pay back what is owed, you are a servant to the lender or individual. When you start piling on debt, you eventually will get to a point where it becomes overwhelming. Unless you are making more money, the debt isn't going to go anywhere. The interest is just going to be adding up. When you are making more debt, your debt to income ratio will start to get higher. The higher your DTI, the less likely you will qualify for a loan. When you have a high DTI, you will be considered high risk to the lender. So they will charge you a higher interest rate, which will put you in a situation where you'll be paying back more interest than if you had a lower rate. That will leave you with less money in your pocket and more into the hands of the lenders. If you don't have to buy it or you don't need it, then don't purchase it. Try to save up for it or create a second stream of income that can help you make that purchase instead of going into more debt. So with that being said, that's the reason why you shouldn't overextend yourself or get more debt, because it will raise your DTI and can cause you not to qualify for additional loans if you needed one. And if you did get approved, the interest rate will be higher and will cause you to pay back more. As I wrap this video up, I want to lastly talk about why you should make wise decisions when it comes to getting debt. When you are getting debt, the financial institution isn't going to always have your best interest in mind when it comes to giving you a loan. All they want to do is lend money so that it can make money off the interest that is charged. The reason why you should make wise decisions when it comes to getting debt is because you can lower your credit score by having high credit utilization. You can put yourself into a financial bind if you were to lose a job and you had no savings or multiple streams of income. You wouldn't be financially independent if all you were doing was working to pay off debt. So if you do need to borrow, make sure you are finding the best interest rates and examining, is this purchase worth it, so that you can make a sound loan decision. We all go into debt for various reasons, but here at FITCSP, I want to help you make sound decisions, and I want to give you things you should know and what to look out for when it comes to getting debt. You can reach out to me directly and I can look over your financial situation to create a budget for you so that you aren't accumulating more debt. Thanks for watching, and consider subscribing to my channel FITCSP, Financial Independence Through Common Sense Practice. You can also comment below. Hit the like button and check out my website, FITCSP.com. And until next time, peace.